Hey everyone, today we're going to be looking at how to amp up the intensity and passion in sports photography. Hello and welcome to Luminar Coffee Break. I'm Angela Andrew and today we're going to be talking about sports photography. I want to show you a few different ways with this image how we can really amp up the intensity and bring out that passion that most athletes are experiencing, and when they train so hard for events like this, we want to bring out that emotion. So let's go ahead and start in Luminar AI. I have an image up on the screen. This one was captured by Vanelli. And what we're going to do first is add a template to give us a better starting point. And I want to go to my purchase templates, and I'm going to scroll down to this one called Badass Action. This is created by Michelle Grenier. She's one of our ambassadors. She works a lot with our education team and has created this awesome set of templates. If you want to add this set of templates to your workflow, you can go up to the Help menu and go down to Luminar Marketplace and search for Badass Action in the signature templates. I highly recommend it. There's some great stuff here. So I'm going to go through and take a look at what some of these do. I'm just going to click on them to go ahead and audition these different looks. And as I go through these, I have found that I really like Knockout. It does a little bit of desaturation and it really pulls our subject to the forefront. It lightens some of the shadows, adds a little bit of extra light to his face, and I think it gets us 90% of the way there. So let's take a quick look here at our before and our after. All right, now let's fine tune this a little bit. I want to go over to our edit tab. And the first thing that's kind of getting me about this photo is the composition. If you notice, the runner has his leg kicked back. He's in the process of going through his paces. And right now it has kind of that amputated look. And it looks a little bit uncomfortable to our eyes. So we want to crop this in, refine our composition here in post. I'm going to go up to the Composition AI tool. And first thing we can do is try the Composition AI button. This is going to recommend a crop for us, but it still doesn't get me where I want to go. I feel like this crop is still a little too low. We still have this disconnect here between his knee and the bottom of the frame. So what I want to do is move this up to where it is right in the middle of his thigh, right about there. And that is a much more comfortable and can see like it's just a better crop. So when you're cropping humans or composing in camera, you want to make sure you're not cropping at the joint. So whether that's your wrist, your elbow, your knee, those are going to be points that are going to look awkward. If you crop at the middle of the forearm or at the middle of the thigh or the calf, it's going to be a much more, what's the best way to put this? Your brain's going to have an easier time processing it. Our brains look at that image and it continues on. We know that there's the rest of a leg or an arm or a hand there. But when you cut off at the wrist, it feels very disjointed, pardon the pun, and just doesn't feel right. So this is a much more comfortable crop. And then just for the sake of better composition, I'm going to pull it in a little bit more from the top here. And while we still have our blurred out runnings in the background, so that really gives the impression of a race and the intensity and moving forward and having to keep that pace, we're really focused in on our subject. So I'm going to go ahead and hit return on the keyboard to commit that crop. And let's see, I've got a question here in the chat from Ian. Hi, Ian. Is there any other way other than Bokeh AI to blur? So Luminar AI doesn't have a specific blur tool, but what you can do is go into structure and move that structure actually in a negative value. And that's going to give you a softening effect that is very similar to blur. You also have that available to you in local masking. If you go to add basic, go ahead and let that pop up there. We also have structure AI here, and you can pull that back and mask that in however you need to go ahead and reduce detail in specific areas. All right. Let's go back to our tools, and the last thing I want to do to refine this image is up the drama a little bit more. So I'm going to go to our dramatic tool. Because we had that little dot next to it, we could see that it was being used already, so there's a tiny bit of drama added. I'm going to bring that up a bit higher. What that does is intensifies the desaturation and just gives us a little bit more of that gritty look and pulls out some more of that emotion. So let's take a look here at our overall before and after. And I think that is a really, really cool photo. And it tells a great story of this athlete's determination to win that race. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick intro into sports photography and a few ways that you can improve your sports photos. I'm Angela Andrew, and this is Luminar Coffee Break. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. If you enjoyed this, make sure you give us a thumbs up here on YouTube, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.